Young people are speaking English. If you have a full-time job here, can you afford your tuition fee from that job? How much do you pay as a rent for per month, including bills, utility, internet? Come to Lithuania for work and then study in the evening. Does that whole concept is logical? Hi, my name is 𝔼𝕝𝕝. If you can introduce yourself to the audience, it'll be great.
Sure. So I'm Yashraj. I have been studying at ISM for the past 1 year already. I finished my first semester and now I'm in my second semester. My third semester will be about master thesis. So my program focus is business sustainability management. And since I'm very passionate about sustainability topics, so I have enrolled in this particular course also as an advancement for my career options. So that's how I look at this course.
Great. So you're now in Vilnius for how many years?
So I've been in Vilnius for past 3 years already.
Okay.
And I'm working at Moody's.
Okay.
And I'm that's when I understood that maybe it's a good idea for me to gain more knowledge in terms of sustainability, because it's one of the interesting areas that are forthcoming. So that's how I enroll in this course.
I think before we go anything about your feedback, there's one thing which I want to talk about. Sustainability is a topic which is very hot these days, because I think every company, mid-level company also in European Union, have to be very sustainable. There's talk going on in the corporate market that every company will have sustainable officer. Mm-hmm. How do you see that?
Definitely, I see it's one of the interesting areas that is growing up, and people are rising up to the understanding that there is several impacts such as climate change, which we see nowadays is being felt hugely across the world, and it's not like it's limited to a certain area, it's spread across the whole geography. And since all are stakeholders in it, and as a result of which people are conscious towards it, they are asking out of the companies, what are you doing about your sustainability measures? How are you trying to not only focus on profits, but also for the people and for the planet as equally? And as a result of which there is a demand, and as a result companies have risen to the occasion, and hence they have started recruiting sustainability officers who would potentially guide them towards making their companies and their operations more sustainable. So
very
that's
Great.
The whole focus of it.
Coming from Pune, a very nice city in India, coming to a small city in Lithuania, how did this actually happen?
So when I looked at I was a career professional in software engineering in Pune for the past 5 years already.
Okay.
And I wanted to change geographies and have better understanding and exposure to the way the world works. And I wanted to work with different people at the same time to gain more exposure and grow in career. And among the various options I saw across European Union was one of those. And among the options that I had at that point in time, Lithuania was one of the countries which not many were aware, but fortunately because of my previous career, so having worked with a couple of Lithuanian counterparts, I found them to be very nice and genuine people who are technologically very well placed, and definitely I found this to be a very good city to migrate to and learn more. And as for the past 3 years, as I have been here, I have realized that I made some of the good decisions while coming over here. Of course, not many people are aware of Lithuania in general in the whole context of the big wide world. But once you get to know more about it, how is it going along, how is it aligned to the European values and European Union in general since a long time, I just feel that it made much more sense.
I want more practical answers, So today I will be doing, asking those practical things which you or maybe any of your fellow students would have asked, when they're in India. Because
right.
Lithuania, low tuition fee, everybody knows it now. I don't even have to promote it, right? Mm-hmm. Low cost of living as compared to Germany and Canada and Australia, everybody knows that.
Right.
It's a pretty old story. I want to know exactly, as an international student, as an Indian student, you have done your bachelor's here first, I believe?
No, I completed my engineering back in India.
Okay.
And then I worked for 5 years, and then I came over here.
Okay. So you came here on a work permit or a study permit?
Yes, I came on a work permit. I had a job already, which I had applied for while in India. And then I moved here did the job, and then as a career advancement, I joined ISM.
Okay, so basically you were already in Lithuania for a work permit and then you joined the ISM.
Right.
Wow, that's going to be very interesting now, because normally people are coming from India for higher education and then going for work. You came for work and you decide to take a career break and went to ISM to do your masters.
Right.
Because you can see that it's important and you needed it.
Right.
Am I right? This would be a reason.
Yes.
An obvious reason.
Just one small alteration here. It's not a career break, so I'm working full time as well, and at the same time pursuing this ISM course. It's again a full time course, just that it's the classes are scheduled in the evenings.
Yes.
So once I finish my work, I come to ISM. I attend those lectures, and they're equally interesting for me. So it's not like I've completed whole day of work and I get tired. But in fact, when I'm out of the classroom, I'm left with more ideas than I would have otherwise if I was not pursuing the course.
So I think when I'm telling people in India that come to Lithuania for work and then study in the evening, does that whole concept is logical?
Absolutely. I mean, definitely I'm passionate about sustainability. So that is one of the motivating factors for me for this course. But as you can see, there are numerous offerings that ISM has depending on your personal choice. And so long as you're interested and passionate about your choice, I think you can do your work and at the same time balance those study assignments and study at the same time, learn few things. Because in a given instance, I would believe all those who are very serious about career, they would definitely want to dedicate a couple of hours through their week towards studying or mastering their craft, and that's where this whole idea comes in, that you need to advance as well at the same time.
Student, this is an individual who has a job in Lithuania, and he decided after 3 years of working in Lithuania that I want to enhance my knowledge and my education, and voluntarily, so you basically start working with the same employer you came from India.
No, I was with another employer, then I made a career transition to another employer, and then I started, then I worked there for like 2 years, and then I thought, okay, I should advance in my career, and that's when I enrolled for this course.
Super. So I think this is what I'm advocating in India right now. Come to Lithuania, do your masters and do your full-time job as well. So I think this is a great opportunity, because now Lithuanian government has allowed bachelor and master degree student to work full time, and the process of getting the TRP is very easy. When you came, it was complicated.
There were a lot of hassles. Now
right?
It's much easier.
Now it's more complicated, more easy. So when it comes to international student, tuition fee is fine. A lot of people talk about ISM is bit expensive, and I'm saying about bit because nowadays the public universities are at 5,000 euros and ISM is at 6,000 euros. There's only 1,000 euro difference.
Right.
I know the difference personally because I've been with ISM for many years. You are a student, and I always say no experience will be fulfilled in a complete until and unless student experience is added in that experience. That 1,000 euro tuition fee, is it worth paying extra to ISM? Because you are here and you have an opportunity to go to all the top public universities also.
Right.
But you still chose the ISM. Why?
Yes, a very good question and a very valid question for those who are trying to look for opportunities at ISM. Firstly is the amount of exposure we get while at ISM. There are numerous guest lecturers whom you get to interact with, you get to network with. Then there are various places where you visit in terms of gaining the practical insights. It could be a plant visit, or it could be even to some of the corporate offices which have their offices in Lithuania. So you get to interact with them and connect with them, understand what kind of problems they are solving, how it aligns to your expertise. So that's the exposure part of it. Second is the European life as such that you are looking to enjoy. There are certain things that you appreciate about India and certain things you wish were better. Absolutely. So in that sense, you get to experience those. Then at ISM, the attention is not just on assignments. It's catered all around your holistic improvement as such at what you are interested in, and you have tons of resources which you can definitely leverage and try to get better at things you're trying to. So I would look at it this way, that okay, maybe you should not focus much on that 1,000 euro difference, because in the long run you might those 1,000 euros may not matter, but over a period of time, you need to look at what intangible benefits it would get you, and not just the tangible ones. So.
Very true. I think you placed it very well, because it's not always about €1,000. It's all about, sometimes you go buy a car and you see the car basic model is for 20 lakh rupees and the top model is 3 lakh more. But you also have to understand the top model bring with the sunroof and automatic windows and, something in XYZ. So it's always good to see the value addition that €1,000 is doing. So students, basically, this is the most important thing, and it's very important because, he has an opportunity to go to a public university on a lower tuition fee, I'm saying it again and again for the tuition fee angle, because a lot of time in India, price is a very important, very sensitive topic. And I always tell people, moment you say study abroad, the first thing is money. Can you afford it? I am a very strong believer that go to a country where you can afford a tuition fee, maybe without education loan, and even if the loan is there, it is not, you don't have to mortgage your house. See, the concept and culture in India is very simple. I go to US, I go to Canada. The first year tuition fee, parents have it for living expenses, they mortgage the loan. And then the student has to go there, he has to make a part-time earnings because he has to send the money back home because the loan is going on,
Yes, exactly.
And this whole concept to me is not very visible because I'm not a really big supporter. I'm rather a big supporter of Eastern European or Baltic nation countries where you can study for low cost of tuition fee. And I think, do you think that if you would have gone to Canada, to Canadian college and do your master's degree there, will that be better opportunity than Lithuania ISM?
Well, I would not think in that direction because perhaps Canada would have given all the opportunities it can, but at the same time, how I look at Baltic states in general is that they are growing at a good pace as compared to their neighbors in the Western Europe, and they are doing aggressively well. You can consider several companies, since I'm from IT background, I can talk about NordVPN, Hostinger, and several other companies who have a base here in Lithuania, which have grown up, and that just demonstrates how well positioned Baltic companies are. And as a result of which, if you have to if you right now at this point in time, if you go to a well-established company already, then maybe you would land up in a position which is taking you to a certain height. But if you are as well growing with the growing state, with the growing company, you would be as well growing more as an individual because of the unique experiences you would be getting. The speed of
growth,
Yes.
Because if your company is quite big and their speed of growth is also going to be very slow. But if the company is growing with a very fast pace, your career growth also has to be, grown with a fast pace. I completely understand. I was having a vlog with the Accenture Lithuania office, and this is exactly what I understood, that there is a huge demand of IT workers in Lithuania at the moment, and also service industry, logistic industry, because Lithuania has now become a service hub for bigger nations. Correct me if I'm wrong, because you're from the IT background.
Yes, exactly.
So you must be knowing it. All the bigger nations are outsourcing their backend in Lithuania, and especially in fintech and IT.
Absolutely.
So what is this boom suddenly coming in? As an employee of the company, what do you see? How is it a bubble or is it actually growing?
I would not call it as a bubble because since I have been part of this industry now almost for 4.5 years already over here in Lithuania, I wouldn't call it a bubble because a bubble just rises and at some point bursts. But over here we see year on year there have been growth. Lithuania over the past, I believe 5 to 6 years have registered their third unicorn. Now, of course, if you proportion it with India, India has more than 100 years. That's a different context, a different geography, and
people
amount
and a
of
massive
people.
Country,
Exactly, and Lithuania happens to be maybe you just combine 5-6 districts of India, and it just forms
3 million people only.
Yes, exactly. So, given that context, I think it's doing superbly for its growth as such.
One thing which I always hear back from my partner universities in Baltic countries, Dipinder, your students are pretty good in the bachelor's on papers. In practical, they lack a huge knowledge, practical knowledge. And this is why they want students to come from bachelor's to master's directly, and then they can go for job market. Is this statement also true?
Yes, absolutely true. I mean, if you graduate as a bachelor's in India, and then if you pursue master's course directly over here, you would understand that there is a certain learning curve associated, and because of your like studying in India, they have not been met because of like several reasons which we already know of and should not delve into deeper.
Absolutely.
But from master's angle, over here you are dealing with actual practical work that you're expected to do and expected to understand. So for example, I'll just give an example from sustainability business management perspective. So over here I'm already expected to analyze the company annual reports and sustainability disclosures that they are doing, so that when I graduate from here as a master's course, let's assume I wasn't a professional and I just was into this master's course, so I'm already learning that which I will be using as a skill in my actual job once I graduate. So it just aligns with the work that is expected once I graduate. So this bridge that is missing is covered by this master's course. So I would always recommend, if you do not have as much work experience, go for that work experience, or just directly go to the master's course, finish that master's course, you will learn the valuable skills needed, and then you can be open for the job market.
Okay. The students are now allowed to work full-time.
Right.
Will that be a correct statement? If you have a full-time job here, can you afford your tuition free from that job and your living expenses?
Yes. I mean to say, it wouldn't not be that you would be earning quite a lot.
Let's say you don't send home money. Let's say you don't send anything home.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, given the course, given the course fee and your ability to work with the minimum wages, I think you would be able to match up and at the same time save a little for yourself to indulge in a few indulgences across. And I think it's like, you look at it from short-term and long-term perspective. In the short-term, it will be like maybe for 1 or 2 years, you will pinch yourself in your expenses. But then in the long-term, you would be always thankful for those pinches, because then you would be thankful for the experiences you had and then the job opportunities you got along.
Absolutely. I think that's exactly what the people need to know, that you can manage your expenses here. The living expenses, as an international student, you're living in the ISM don't have the dormitories.
No.
So you have to rent outside.
Right.
How much do you pay as a rent per month, including bills, utility, internet, heating, everything?
I think a good number will be between 150 and 200 for the students. At times, I have seen some of the students even go for let's say, I wouldn't call it luxurious ones, but some top ones which at times take their expenses between 300 and 500 euros per month bracket. But over here, that's the beauty of it, that you can tailor your expenses. It doesn't have to be a lot expensive, and it doesn't have to be very cheap as well. You can tailor as you need. Maybe at times you're okay with a certain accommodation which is not super great because you're most of the times outside.
True.
So at the same time, you would enroll yourself in certain things that are more useful for you.
Absolutely.
And you would tailor down on accommodation. Then there could be some who are focused on eating outside, but at the same time want to like live minimalistic and so on. So it's individual choice. Just that you're getting those choices is important.
So how much as an international student you are spending monthly of your food and your living?
Good question. So in this case, I think a good amount of expense on food will be in the range between 100 or 150. It's I think a comfortable range. I mean, I am not like cutting on many things, or not even exposing myself to high-end expenses. So
350 altogether.
Yes, more or less I could position the number around that.
So 350 altogether, and a student who is working full-time as well will make at least 800 euros a month.
Yes, that's for sure.
So technically, out of 800, 300 is gone in my living and food, and on my expenses.
Right.
I'm left with 5,500 a month, which will bring me to 6,000 euros. So technically, if I do more of work in the summer holidays, I can actually take my full fees also out.
Absolutely. I mean, yes, this is very much possible. Just that you have to find those opportunities and chase them, and you would be able to take care of. And even if, let's say, even if the worst condition in a 1 or 1.5, let's say, year when you're studying, you're not able to do it. In the next succeeding year, you will definitely get rid of that loan that you have, which is, I know, like when someone has a loan, it's like a bothering thing on their mind, but you will come out of it. Just that when you are at the starting position, you do not trust yourself with it, but towards the end you feel, yes, I was able to come out of it.
I know old people don't speak English here. Young people are speaking English?
Absolutely. So you can just like, let's say any person you walk up to, let's say roughly age of 40, he or she would definitely know English, would be able to have the basic conversation you need, or if you are asking for some help, hey, is this better or is that better, or can you help me with this or that, they will definitely try to address it to the best of their conditions, like best of their ability and best of their knowledge. I mean, they are very genuine and helpful people. You just have to open up and ask them for help. They will definitely help you.
Right. So you have now completed 3 years. What is the permanent residency status in this country? They've changed some laws and it will become more easier for people to get residency, and they're also counting the number of years you have spent here as a student or as a worker.
In that aspect, what I know of is that you have to complete 5 years of your residency, and which includes your study period, is what I know of.
That's what I've been also told.
Right. So given that, I think those 5 years, basically you would finish your course in 2 years, and 3 years, basically you would be like, it would be in, I mean, when I look back at my past 4 years, I just feel I don't even know how the time flew by.
I know.
So it's like from a standpoint of starting, it feels like 5 years is a lot of commitment, but then you look at it, it doesn't feel quite a lot.
Especially this bachelor student who's watching this video, if you finish your bachelor degree in 4 years, you have 1 year job seeker visa, you're done.
Right.
You know, you're done with the bachelor, you're done with the permanent residency also. In terms of Lithuanians, because with you, I can ask this because you are in here for so many years and you came as a worker. How Lithuanians are toward Indians or Asians? Are they warm? Are they mixing with international people, or they are very reserved, or racism? Anything you want to say?
I've not faced racism. That's a very good thing, because I have heard several incidents across several North American countries and some Western European countries in terms of racism.
I think it's everywhere.
Yes. So that's one of the positive traits I would say. I've not faced it, so I'm happy about it. Secondly, yes, Lithuanians will come across as reserved to you because they have a different cultural upbringing. We have a different cultural upbringing, so it may not be that they would be very forthcoming with you. But once you warm up with them, once you have those meaningful interactions with them, then you would realize that some of them are really nice, genuine people, and you would want to be friends with them for your life. And not just me, but all across Indians over here who have stayed for a good amount of time and who have Lithuanian acquaintances, they would definitely say that they have some good Lithuanian friends as well.
Great. Can you find your food, your spices in Vilnius?
Yes, there have been several stores that have opened up over the course of past 4 years. There are more forthcoming because we have this community in Vilnius, and we even have, like, in the recent times, opened an embassy around here. So at any point in time, if we need some help, we just reach out to people, and they are definitely helpful in this aspect. And food, I know, is one of the important aspects for any Indian. Definitely you would not get a maid as such when you get in India, but at the same time you need to know those basic skills and be able to, like, just feed yourself and you'll be fine.
I think you're right. The maid concept is only in India. We don't have this concept anywhere in Europe or even Western world. And I think everybody do their work themselves, and they have all the machines, or have dryers and everything. Dishwashers are there.
Yes.
So, and life is easier.
Yes,
I mean, if you have all these machines.
Right. So that's the focus of their, like, all the lifestyle around it is focused on you being able to do your own work, and you do not need some helper to do your work.
ISM claims that they bring international professors, and they bring one of the best professors in the industry. They send you for double degree programs. Mm-hmm. How true is it in the classroom?
It's very true because I had already I finished 6 or 7 courses already, and I believe 3 or 4 professors were from other countries or other background.
Okay. 50%.
Yes, and we had overseas professors, and it's very true. Also about the double degree program, I have a couple of friends from India who came over here for 1 year. They have already studied for 1 semester, and they would be soon leaving for the other universities which ISM has tie up with. I believe one of the university in Bordeaux. In Bordeaux, in France, in Norway. Like, one of them has gone to Bodo, another has gone to Norway. So I know because of that yes, that's happening, and it's not just a claim, but it's a verified claim.
Great. I mean, I think double degree programs are very important for these days because they give you two opportunities to study in two different countries, two different universities, experience the culture. I think before we come to the conclusion, of this discussion, I think one Indian student have to be more extrovert than introvert, because more extrovert you are, the easier going to be life for you.
Absolutely, because no one is going to recognize what's going in your mind and come and ask you, hey, do you need this? You need to speak up, you need to ask, you need to talk with people. If one is not responding, move on to the next one, because that's how generally it is. In India, it is very given that someone will come to you because that's how the culture was. But
True.
when you're abroad, you need to understand that culture and try to mold yourself likewise, which also includes you need to be more extrovert and reach out to people.
Thank you so much for your time, and really appreciate that you have been giving this information for students. I think, as I always say, no experience can be fulfilled, until the student experience is attached to it. Because I can always come here for a short trip, but you are living a student life. You're living an Indian student life. What you can contribute, that's nothing, nobody can compare that. I think viewers will have a lot of information now from your video, and if you're thinking to come to Lithuania, ISM University still have deadlines open for September intake. Apply for the master's and bachelor degree program, and you have to pay a tuition fee per semester starting from 3,000 euros per semester only, which is around about 3 lakh rupees. I think it's a good quality education, as we discussed, and don't miss the opportunity, and keep watching Indo-European YouTube channel for more such videos. Thank you so much.
Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.